Everybody wants to know the secret to a happy life. I'm 78 years old. My name is Rob Patterson. People keep asking me, Rob, what's the secret? How do you find happiness after everything? They think I'm going to say something wise, something they can write down and frame on their wall. But that's not the real answer. You want to know the real answer? Come closer. Do you know what most people realize only when it's far too late? I thought happiness was something you earned, something you deserved after you worked hard enough, sacrificed enough, achieved enough. I was wrong. And I'm going to tell you why before you waste as much time as I did. I grew up in a small town in England in the late 1940s. My father died when I was 9. Heart attack. One day he was there, the next day he wasn't. I remember my mother standing in the kitchen, holding a dish towel, just staring at the wall. She didn't cry. She just stood there. And I thought, this is what life does. It takes things from you without warning. So you better hold on tight to what you have. I became very serious after that. I stopped being a kid. I started working at 14, delivering papers, then stocking shelves, then anything that paid. I told myself I was helping my mother, and I was. But really, I was building a wall. I thought if I worked hard enough, if I became successful enough, I could protect myself from the kind of pain she felt that day in the kitchen. By the time I was 30, I had a good job, a decent salary, respect from my colleagues. I was doing what I thought I was supposed to do, and I was miserable. Completely, utterly miserable. But I didn't know it yet because I was too busy. I met a woman named Madeline when I was 32. She was kind, she was patient, and she loved me in a way I didn't understand. She wanted to go places, try things, laugh at stupid jokes, stay up late talking about nothing. And I said, no. Not tonight, I have work. Not this weekend, I'm tired. Not now, maybe later. She stayed for 6 years. Then one morning, she packed a bag and left. She didn't yell, she didn't cry. She just said, Rob, you're not here. Even when you're sitting right next to me, you're not here. And she was right. I wasn't. I was always somewhere else, in my head, planning, worrying, working. I spent the next 20 years alone. I told myself I was fine. I had my routines, my job, my little flat, my Saturday morning walks. I convinced myself that I didn't need anyone, that I was better off this way, safer this way. But the truth is, I was just scared. Scared of losing someone again. Scared of feeling what my mother felt. So I chose nothing. I chose safety. I chose to not live. When I was 68, I retired. And for the first time in my life, I had nothing to do. No meetings, no deadlines, no excuses. Just me and the silence. And that silence was so loud I thought it would break me. I started going to a community center just to be around people. I didn't talk much. I just sat there, drank tea, listened, and that's where I met Sarah. She was 71, a widow, and she had this way of laughing that made you feel like everything was going to be okay. She started talking to me. I don't know why. I wasn't particularly friendly, but she kept talking. And eventually, I started talking back. We became friends. Then we became more than friends. And I thought, this is it. This is what I missed. This is what I spent my whole life running from. Being with Sarah taught me something I wish I'd learned at 25 instead of 70. Happiness is not something that happens to you. It's not a reward. It's not a destination. It's a choice. Every single day, you choose. You choose to notice the small things. You choose to be present. You choose to let people in. You choose joy. Most people never figure this out. They spend their whole lives waiting for happiness to arrive like it's a package in the mail. They say, I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I pay off the house, when I retire, when I lose weight, when someone finally loves me the way I want to be loved. And the years pass, and the happiness never comes because they're looking for it in the wrong place. It's not out there. It's right here, right now, in the ordinary, unglamorous, boring moments. Sarah and I didn't do anything extraordinary. We made tea in the morning. We walked to the park. We watched old movies. We held hands. We talked about nothing, and it was everything. She died 2 years ago. Cancer. I was with her at the end. And you know what she said to me? She said, Rob, thank you for being here. Not for being successful, not for being impressive, just for being here. That's all anyone ever wants. Someone who's actually there. I'm 78 now. I don't have a lot of time left. And I think about all the years I wasted being afraid, being distracted, being somewhere else. I think about Madeline, how I let her go because I was too scared to be present. I think about all the moments I missed because I thought I had unlimited time. But here's what I know now. The secret to a happy life is not what you achieve. It's not how much you earn, how much you own, how many people respect you. The secret is you choose. You choose to be here. You choose to notice. You choose the small things. A good cup of tea, a conversation with a stranger, the way the light comes through the window in the afternoon, a song that reminds you of something, the sound of rain, a cat purring, a friend who checks in, a meal you didn't have to cook alone. These are the things that matter, not the big moments, the small ones. If I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it would be this. Stop waiting. Stop thinking happiness is something you have to earn. Stop being so damn serious. Life is happening right now, and if you're not paying attention, you're going to miss it. I see people my age, and some of them are bitter, angry, full of regret. They spent their whole lives chasing something and they never got it. And now they're mad at the world. But then I see others, people like Sarah, people who figured it out. They're not rich, they're not famous, but they're happy, really happy, because they chose it. Every day, they chose it. I'm not saying life is easy. It's not. You're going to lose people. You're going to fail. You're going to be disappointed. But you still get to choose how you respond. You still get to choose whether you're going to be present or whether you're going to hide. I wasted so many years hiding. Don't do what I did. Don't wait until you're 70 to realize that the life you want is the life you already have. You just have to start paying attention. Let me tell you about something that happened last Tuesday. I was sitting in my flat, just sitting there, and a bird landed on my windowsill, a small brown bird, nothing special. And it sat there for maybe 30 seconds, just looking around, and I watched it, really watched it. And for those 30 seconds, I wasn't thinking about anything else. I wasn't worried. I wasn't planning. I was just there, watching this bird. And when it flew away, I realized that was it. That was the moment. That was life. And I was there for it. 20 years ago, I would have been on my computer. I wouldn't have even noticed the bird. I would have been too busy, too distracted, too somewhere else. But now I know. Those 30 seconds with that bird mattered more than most of the things I spent 40 years working toward. You see, when you're young, you think you have forever. You think there will always be time later, time to travel, time to be with people you love, time to do the things you want to do. But there isn't. There really isn't. And you don't realize it until suddenly you're my age and you look back and you see all the moments you missed because you were waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. There's only now. This moment, right here, and then it's gone, and you can't get it back. I had a neighbor, old man named George. He was 84 when he died last year, and I went to his funeral, and his son stood up and talked about him. And you know what he said? He said his father worked his whole life saving money for retirement. He was going to travel, going to see the world, going to finally enjoy himself. He saved for 40 years, and then he retired, and 6 months later he had a stroke. He lived another 5 years, but he couldn't travel. He couldn't do any of the things he'd been waiting to do. He just sat in his chair, looking out the window, waiting for a life that was never going to come. That story haunted me because I realized I was heading down that same path. I was always waiting for the right time, the right moment, the right circumstances. And all that waiting was just another word for not living. So I stopped waiting. After Sarah died, I could have retreated back into my shell. I could have said, that's it. I'm done. I'm too old. It's too late. But I didn't, because she taught me better than that. She taught me that every day you wake up, you get to choose. You get to decide whether this is going to be a day you live or a day you let pass by. So now I choose. Every morning, I choose. I choose to notice things. I choose to talk to people. I choose to be grateful. I choose to find something, anything, to appreciate. Some days it's hard. Some days I don't want to, but I do it anyway. Because that's the secret. It's not about feeling happy all the time. It's about choosing to show up, choosing to be present, choosing to participate in your own life. I volunteer now 3 days a week at that same community center where I met Sarah. I help serve lunch. I talk to people. I listen to their stories. And you know what? Those are the best days of my week. Not because I'm doing something important or impressive, but because I'm there. I'm present. I'm part of something. Last week, a woman came in. She was maybe 75, and she was crying. Her husband had just died, and I sat with her. I didn't say much. I just sat there and listened. And when she left, she hugged me and said, "Thank you for being here." And I thought, this is it. This is what matters. Not the titles, not the money, not the achievements, just being here. Just showing up. Just being present with another human being.
Joy is not something that happens to you. Joy is something you decide. And most people, they never figure this out.
They spend their whole lives chasing things that they think will make them happy. And they miss the actual moments of happiness that are right in front of them. If this meant something to you, I'd love for you to subscribe and turn on notifications. Maybe something we share will help you on your own journey. And hey, if you've got your own story to share, something you think people should hear, go ahead and fill out that form in the description. The next video could be yours.